and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Oh, there we go. Finally, it took them long enough. Yo, that's how you get a show started. Welcome to the Art of the Finish Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Rellz, joined once again by what seems to be tonight members of the Bloodline. I guess honorary Usos, both of them, because they both got Bloodline shirts. Jay Andre and the Podfather himself, the wise man of the podcasting world. What up, Don? What up, Jay?
What up?
What's going on?
How was y'all guys' weekends?
Amazing.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Happy belated birthday by the way, Jay Andre.
Happy belated, my dude.
I appreciate it.
So let's get right into it. We're gonna start with you first because you started the weekend off. You was at Extreme Rules, so tell me. I need to know. I didn't want to bother you while you was there because I wanted to wait for the show. So I need to know what was the high points of being there, what was the low points of being there?
Oh man, the Extreme Rules was phenomenal. I have to say that the low points was Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. Fans crapped on that match. They hated that whole match. That was one of the worst women matches I've seen in some time. And WWE is used to producing bad women matches, especially during the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression. But the crowd was live all night. That Philly crowd was live all night, especially for that opener with the Brawling Brutes and Imperium.
That match was great.
Yeah. You couldn't tell who was the heel in the face because they was cheering for both sides. Like they loved both of them. Like Sheamus, when Sheamus went for that bro kick and he got that pin, the crowd erupted. Like they was cheering for him and all of that. Definitely they crapped on Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. That ending. People was crapping on that match. They was booing. They was booing as they was going out the arena when the credits went on.
But let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think they were booing because they were crapping on the match, or you think they were booing because they thought that Bray Wyatt wasn't going to come out and they thought that was the end of the show? Because Triple H did a little thing that he used to do in NXT where he would have the credits of the show like it's about to go off. And then he hit everybody with the whole Bray Wyatt thing. Because I know that mood changed once them lights went off and it seemed like that Bray. So
right. Yeah. Nah, they was crapping on the match. The match was especially like the ending. Like the ending was like unexpected. Like I see Seth explain why he did it, which I like the explanation that, he knew he had a title match on Monday night and he didn't want to exert himself in the ring, but people thought that match was like trash. Like to me, that was the worst fight pit match that WWE has had compared to the ones in NXT and stuff like that. Another match that people kind of crapped on was Karrion Kross and McIntyre. Kross was getting a good ovation. McIntyre was getting booed.
Really?
Yeah, McIntyre was getting booed.
Why do you believe that?
I'm gonna tell you why I think that is, and then I want Jay Andre's opinion. I just think the fans soured on him after that whole debacle at Clash at the Castle.
Yep.
The whole losing and then him singing, like at the end, it was almost just like, how am I supposed to take you serious? Like whether it was done on purpose or whether it was done by accident, whoever messed it up made a mistake with his character. Because it was just like, I just lost this great match in my hometown that I was supposed to win. And after I lose, I'm booing. I'm singing the song. Like who sings after they lose?
That's true. I agree with that. Yeah, that's why I think they was booing him too. Yeah, he hasn't been the same. And to me, he was like the heir apparent to take the title off of Roman. Everybody would say like Drew McIntyre before Cody came back. Drew was supposed to be the one to take the title off of Roman from what people were saying, but yeah, he was. Yeah.
Man, listen, them promo packages leading up to Clash at the Castle, you would think there was no way he was going to lose.
Right.
There was like the heroes finally home. Somebody's about to finally take Roman down, and then here comes Solo.
Really?
No, seriously, there were a lot of people who actually thought that there was a chance Roman might lose.
Who thought that?
No, there were a lot. No, there were actually a lot of people, believe it or not.
Yeah,
right?
Because
it was almost like the way they were building up Drew was like it was almost impossible. Like
lose.
It was no,
I didn't have that feeling at all. I didn't wake up with that morning with that feeling. I didn't wake up that night with that feeling. I had no feeling of that at all. No, not at all.
Yeah. But
so I was going to ask you, so how was that big overall thing when Bray came out?
Oh, the crowd lost it. The crowd lost it. When Bray came out, they lost it. Because they was chanting for Bray during the Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. Yeah, they lost it. They went crazy. To me, that was one of the best ovations I've seen. I mean, next to Edge, when Edge got that big pop at the Rumble, like they went crazy. Yeah, they lost it for Bray. I mean, they was like people was chanting Bray when he was leaving the arena. Like, yeah, he got a massive ovation when he came, when them lights went out.
So,
but the pay-per-view,
that's the crazy part. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. The pay-per-view, if Bray didn't come back, that pay-per-view would have been crap. But with Bray like coming out and debuting or re-debuting, like that's what made the pay-per-view that much more better.
If you want my opinion, I think the next person to challenge Roman should be Sheamus.
I agree.
Because Sheamus is on such a hot streak right now that although you know he won't beat Roman, like he says, and I have to admit it, he needs to put this on his shirt. Sheamus has been delivering banger after banger after banger after banger. So I think that would actually be a pretty good matchup with him and Roman.
Yeah. And then the Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline.
Everything just ties into itself.
Yeah.
All right, so Don, now I gotta ask you before you tell me how your experience was. I just need to know: was the crowd mad that Bray wasn't there?
Yes.
Okay, because me watching it on TV.
That's what I was about to say, yo. It felt like you told us he was going to be there. We got hyped that he was going to be there, and then he wasn't there.
Yeah, because they announced he was going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah, you got the whole Extreme Rule package, and I was like, "That's some bullshit." Everybody was like, "This is some bullshit."
Yeah, my thing is like, how do you not bring him? How do you not bring him to New York?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's the night after. Everybody's hyped. You know, especially after the Brock Lesnar situation. Like, we were hyped. Everybody was hyped. It was lit. Like, okay, now this is about to turn up. You know, a lot of people was disappointed at the fact that Roman was there, but then Roman left.
I mean, but that's what Roman does.
Yeah.
But I mean, once again, this is not what we was expecting. This is the night after a great Extreme Rules. Like, you expected, like, he pulled the Brock moment. And this is one of the things he was saying, him becoming champion, we wasn't going to get. You know what I'm saying? So to have that situation where now this is what you're doing, like, come on. You just said you was going to be a fighting champion with the belt, with one belt. Now you got two belts.
Yep. So I agree with what KD is saying, but then I got a thing for that too. So he said Bray Wyatt needs to be pushed to the moon. He's potentially capable of playing different roles in horror movies or shows. Yes, I agree. But my only problem with Bray Wyatt is once you get past all the hype, all the mythical stuff, he still has to wrestle. And let's be honest,
but he's an excellent wrestler.
I don't think so.
No.
You don't feel he's an excellent wrestler?
No. Bray is like Bray. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to say it's a bad comparison, but it's a comparison nonetheless. I have to compare Bray to Karrion Kross. The presentation is awesome, but when you have to wrestle, because I don't see it in Karrion Kross in the ring. The presentation, I love the presentation, the whole entrance, all that is phenomenal.
But I'm a big fan of Karrion Kross.
Yeah, so I didn't see it when he was in Impact. I didn't see it when he was in MLW. I didn't see it in NXT. Like, I didn't understand what was the whole point of him in NXT. NXT, it was like he was undefeated. Then he won the title, separated his shoulder. Then he came back, and then he was still undefeated until he lost to Samoa Joe. Like, I don't get the whole Karrion Kross thing. Like, I don't think and maybe he might be suited to be in Bray's group based on just the entrance, but I don't see it. Like, once the bell rings, I don't see it. Maybe he could change my mind over the next couple of months, but
you got to see how this Wyatt 6 situation comes out. You got to
The
see
rumor-
how it's going to turn out, what it's going to be about, who's going to be in his group.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you're getting hints of, okay, it could be Seth, it could be
supposedly his brother too.
Yeah,
Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just seeing what it's going to be. Because now, look, you got Alexa with she still has the doll situation, but you got Liv, who's supposed to be in the group.
See, this is my thing, right? I'm glad Vince isn't in charge, because I feel like Vince would just totally ignore this whole Bray and Alexa thing. Where I feel like Triple H will tie up the loose end with that, even if it's like Bray comes back and like puts her in the mandible claw and it's a wrap after that. But I don't see it being a situation where they're not going to cross paths.
Right.
Like that's something that has to be addressed with the fact that you cost me my supposed last match. And once again, like you said, Vince ain't here to drop the ball on this situation. So now you're definitely going to see more of Triple H's, vision for this situation, and I'm very happy with it.
Okay, so now I have two problems with Raw, right? Only two, because I will say Raw has been an absolute joy to watch over the last couple of months since Triple H. But this week I've had two problems. One, they're doing the same thing with Lashley they did last year. They made him indestructible until it's Saudi Arabia time, and then he has to now lose. Because he did it to Goldberg last year, and now he's going to do it to Brock again. This man just literally came out and said, yo, I'm a fighting champion. I'm going to defend the belt whenever I want. And then Brock comes out of nowhere and beats him up. My problem is, what beef do you have with him? And the only reason I say that...
Well, remember, he called Brock out.
No, he called Brock out.
He said, I beat... He went through the names of people I beat.
Yeah, so he's supposed to do that, and all of a sudden Brock just magically appears.
That was the shock value. Like we didn't think Brock was coming out. Hold on, time out.
No, I did, because I read it earlier in the day. I read it earlier in the day.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did.
Nobody thought Brock was coming out. I mean, only because I read early in the day about Gallows and Anderson. That's how I knew they was coming in. But nobody knew Brock was coming out. And when his music dropped, the place went bananas.
Yeah, and this is my problem too. What is your beef? Like, what is your beef?
Remember, they never solved their problem from before.
No, I get that. But my thing is, my beef is this. You lost your title at Royal Rumble. You went through WrestleMania and lost to Roman, right? You came back at Survivor. You came back at SummerSlam for Roman again. You could have came back at Lashley at SummerSlam. So you wait to lose to Brock. You wait to lose to Roman again, and now you want to come back for Lashley now?
I think it would have been better if it was for the United States title.
Exactly. So now my thing is, your beef is with Lashley now, but it's not with Roman anymore.
Well,
that's the one can't beat.
Nobody wants to see it no more.
No, I get it. I don't want to see
honestly,
it either.
Who's not tired?
No, I agree with you.
Brock Lesnar of Roman Reigns.
I agree with you 100%. I don't want to see it no more either. But the logic, this is where I feel like this is where Triple H keeps the Vince logic. It makes no sense because you went the whole couple of months looking for Roman, gunning Roman down like you didn't pay Bobby no mind at all. And now all of a sudden you want to come back for him. Like, what is your motivation?
Okay, but who? You gotta think about it also, bro.
Bro, you can't tell me
he's gonna fight.
No, I get it. But then if that's the case, stay away. You can't tell me now your motivation for coming back is because you lost in January when you went all these months without fighting him. You worry about Roman. Now you're gonna tell me, I just had my eye on Roman the whole time, but it was always Lashley.
What up, M. West?
What up, M. What up, CK? What up, Marty, babe? But yeah, so you can't sit here and tell me like that's the motivation now. I'm not buying it. This is where sometimes wrestling don't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta understand, like I said, who would be the next challenger for Brock? There is nobody to challenge. And since he can't go after Roman no more, he has to go step down and go somewhere else. That's why I said if they would have made it where it would have been Brock Lashley for the US title, I think it would have been more exciting than letting him drop it to Seth.
Yeah, but they took the belt off him because he's gonna lose. And this is my problem. Like,
why? What makes you think he's gonna lose?
Okay, Matt. Okay, Matt, what up? So think about this. If he wasn't going to lose, then why take the belt off of him?
I don't know.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing.
Exactly.
That's
there you
the
go.
thing. I agree.
It makes.
I
no
agree
sense.
with that part. I agree with that part.
Look,
why take the belt off?
How super important would the U.S. title look for Brock and Bobby fighting over it?
It would look. I think it would look great.
Exactly.
It would help put the U.S. title back on.
It would actually put the U.S. place. title. It would actually put the U.S. title on a higher echelon than probably the world title at this point if those two are fighting for it.
Yeah.
So that's just my beef. And then my last gripe is I don't care what nobody says. The egos of these guys, and I think you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with it. Why are you main eventing with DX?
Oh, wait, who's main eventing with DX?
That was the main event of Raw. Why would you main event with DX? First of all, why would you main event with DX for 5 minutes? They could have did that shit at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, definitely.
And you could have had the Bloodline thing at the end, if anything, or something else. You could have had.
But you know what? Because if they would have did the Bloodline thing, that's true. But if they would have did the Bloodline thing at the end, what usually happens is
exactly, man.
When they do that, it turns into another match afterwards. So like every time we've been at the Barclay, and you'll Raw end or one of the places end, that something else pops up. Like they'll have another match afterwards.
What was it?
Out of nowhere.
Was there a dark match after?
Yeah, it's usually a dark match after.
What was it?
There wasn't none this time.
Oh, it wasn't just when it's on.
So, yeah, it just that's why everybody was pissed because we thought Bray was coming out, and it was like no Bray. So it was like, yo, everybody was pissed. They was just cursing the whole shit out after that.
Yeah,
everybody's like, yo, fuck this shit. Fuck this.
Like I was texting a friend during the show, and he's like, oh, Bray's probably gonna come out and do something to DX. I'm like, no. I said, do you see those egos in the ring? Ain't no way they're gonna go off the air with Triple H or Shawn Michaels. First of all, it would make no sense because who's gonna fight for them? Neither Triple H is not coming out to fight Bray. Shawn Michaels ain't gonna do it. We're not gonna believe in Road Dogg X-Pac. So it was like, so I kept telling him, I'm like, yo, the egos will not allow these dudes to have somebody interfere in their situation. It's just gonna be them at the end. And I'm like, you could have did this at the beginning. Like it really was literally 5 minutes. Like they came out, they said what they said, they let the crowd say Billy Gunn's name because they really wanted to avoid that whole daddy ass chant. I know they did. So they did the best that they could by doing it. And that was the end of pretty much the end of it. Like you did the same thing you've been doing for 25 years. Like I really felt old when he said, yo, who's been watching us from the beginning? And I could be like me.
Yeah.
Like that's when I realized how old I was. Like for real. And it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same DX thing. It was really nothing any different.
So what is your thoughts on the Judgment Day, AJ and Gallo and Anderson thing? Because I thought it was actually dope.
I did too. And then because I knew that he was coming out, they were coming, so it kind of spoiled it for me. But at the same time, it's always good to see AJ with Gallows and Anderson because now it probably gives AJ something to do. Because he's like on TV, off TV. Really not really in the middle of nothing. And then it gives Judgment Day something to do over the next couple of months because Edge will be gone. So
because I'm tired of that too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I meant to ask you that, Jay Andre. How was that crowd when Beth got that concerto?
They was hot. They didn't like that. They popped for her and Ripley fighting, but they was hot when she got that concerto.
Yeah, I knew it. Once he said I quit, I was like, she's still gonna do it. Like
right.
Yeah. So that was he said Max said I kind of wish AJ could finally get Bullet Club back. I don't know, for some odd reason it seems like WWE does not want to pull a trigger like on an AJ and Finn like group. Like they'll tease it, they'll team for a couple of weeks, but then it's like something always splits them up. But Triple H is in charge now, so who's to say that doesn't happen eventually? Maybe Judgment Day kicks Finn out and he finds his way with AJ and Gallows and Anderson. So who knows? With Gallows and with Triple H in charge now, I believe Gallows and Anderson can actually be a legit tag team.
Yeah.
But I kind of see AJ and Gallows and Anderson kind of doing something with the Bloodline around Royal Rumble time. Watch.
Well, I'm trying to figure out because me and my son were sitting there talking, and it was like, War Games.
Oh well, what I read today is going to be Team Bloodline versus Team Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay. Because I'm saying it gotta be 4. It's supposed to be 4-4 traditional, and I'm like, I can't see who, you know, the Bloodline could go against. And remember, we all still stuck on this. Sammy's gonna ruin something.
That would be the match that he would ruin, though. Like, he would probably be a part of it, and he would probably be the reason why they lose the match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially after Raw, you know, Jay was tight with him with Sammy.
Yeah,
and he cost Sammy a match. So, you know, and Riddle, I don't know why anybody see anything in Riddle.
The sad part about it, though, is that Jay is going to take the brunt of that whole thing, because remember, Roman told him, "Don't make sure he don't lose."
Right.
Yeah.
So
right. Yeah.
I feel like what's going to head to that is that it's going to be almost like it's going to look like they're kicking Jay out, and in actuality, it's going to end up being Sammy.
Yeah.
To me, I said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Sami Zayn should be the one to take the title off of Roman Reigns.
Well, we're gonna talk about that because we're gonna talk about that because that's gonna be part of the. Matter of fact, you might as well. You know what? We might as well just get into it now. Since we're talk about that. The topic for tonight is booking WrestleMania 40, fantasy booking WrestleMania 40. So, you know, I thought about this because I'm like, okay, WrestleMania season's coming up soon. We only got a couple more months until Royal Rumble time. I don't really know who's going to win the Royal Rumble, but I got a couple of ideas of, like, I'll throw 3 matches out there for like night, because it's 2 nights. So I'll throw like 3 matches out there for like night 1, and then you could throw 3 matches and you throw 3, and then we'll go from there. So night 1, I see, and this is going to sound crazy because I think this will be a night 1.
Wait, are we going opening match first?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many we giving for each night?
Say 6 matches. That should be good. That's about a good night, right? So I say my opening match for night 1. I'm probably going to go out on a limb. It's probably I'm gonna say, because with Triple H and this whole women's thing, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be Sasha versus Bayley. I can see Triple H starting a WrestleMania off with the women's match, and it'll probably be for the Raw Women's title. It'll probably be for the Raw Women's title. So
you feel like Bayley?
Yeah, because at some point Bayley's going to get the title off of Bianca. I don't know how they're going to get there to it, but it's going to happen eventually. So
I don't see that happening, and the only reason why I say that is because Bayley is a good sell right now. I'm saying Bayley. I'm sorry. Bianca is a good sell right now.
She is.
So I don't see them just, you know, taking the belt off of her like that.
So do you look at it like a Bianca versus Bayley versus Sasha kind of thing?
Yeah, I can see a triple threat. I don't know if it's going to be Sasha, though, because I don't think Sasha want to come back.
I don't know.
Well, you know,
I could picture Sasha.
I know
coming back.
Naomi is coming back.
I could picture Sasha winning. I could picture Sasha winning the Rumble, and that's how she gets thrown into that.
The rumor is that Charlotte is coming back for to Raw brand to challenge Bianca. I guess you want to work with Bianca.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Well, you see, Andrade's trying to come back. So.
Oh God.
So you know.
Sasha.
This is the craziest thing, and I agree. I didn't think what y'all was saying was true about AEW. I'm sorry to bring AEW up right now.
No, go ahead.
But when y'all sat here and said the fights backstage is going down so people can actually leave.
Yeah.
It's real. Like,
right.
So you're really going to start a fight with another wrestler backstage so that you can get kicked off to go over to back to WWE?
Yeah, but see, if I was Tony Khan, I'd be petty because now I just keep him in the house and just pay him.
Right.
Wow.
But here's the crazy part. Tony Khan told him, the reports was Tony Khan told him, like, you know, if you punch this guy in the face, you punch Sammy Guevara in the face, you're not going to get fired. And Andrade said, okay.
And so did it anyway.
He did it anyway.
He did it anyway. Yep. What an idiot.
So now going back to what we saw, I'm like I said, I know for a fact Naomi is coming back. I'm thinking she's gonna go heel, to be honest.
Let me ask you. That's what I was gonna ask you.
To be a part of the bloodline.
It almost just makes perfect sense now at this point.
Yeah, and I can see her headlining against Bianca. Bianca or and Bailey, if you want to say Bailey. I don't see Bailey. I think I want to see Bailey later on versus someone else because her team is actually looking good. And I think they're right now more focused with them as with the tag team title. So I'm not sure who that third person would be right now because it's a lot. Like you got a lot of contenders. The women's division is starting to step up again. So that's why I said it's a lot of contenders.
It
so
could be any at this point. You could be anybody because it could still be it could be Rhea Ripley too.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley, Shotzi.
Still got Raquel Gonzalez.
So you got a lot of good names, and then so I'm not sure about the third, but I do think it'll be Naomi versus Bianca. I think they're gonna try to have her capture all the belts. You know what I mean?
That I agree. If she wins, she has to get the belt.
Bring that to the bloodline. You know what I mean? But at WrestleMania, when we feel like Roman is gonna lose, which is it would be shocking if he doesn't, though.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If it's anybody but The Rock, he'll lose. But if it's The Rock, I don't see he'll lose. As funny as that sounds, I don't think he'll lose.
Yeah, he shouldn't lose. Yeah,
but like second match, I would go Ray versus Dominic. I think they have enough fuel to kind of stretch this out to WrestleMania.
I think that's gonna go down at Royal Rumble. To be honest,
but funny thing, it can go down at Royal Rumble and then still end up at WrestleMania.
True.
So, but I think for some odd reason, I feel like they'll try to recreate a Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio kind of thing. So I feel like they'll stretch that to WrestleMania. Third match, I have to say it because I think they can stretch it too. I think it's going to be the Usos versus Sami and Kevin Owens.
I was gonna agree with y'all with this Kevin and Sami thing until I realized how many times Kevin got betrayed by Sami. And it's like
no, it's the other way around. It's how many times Sami got betrayed by Kevin.
Yeah, but why? Now I'm at that point of why. It would have to be somebody else. I believe it would have to be somebody else.
Because they do little teases here and there. Like because although they've betrayed each other in the past, they're still betrayed as friends on TV. Remember, he didn't even want to attack him in that last match with Jay fought Kevin Owens. He had the chance to hit him with the chair. He wouldn't do it. So I still feel like so I feel like they have enough legs with this Bloodline storyline. I feel like they have enough legs to stretch that till WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely.
Fourth match, we fantasy booking WrestleMania 40, KD. Fourth match, probably going to be Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Because now you got because it's WrestleMania, so you gotta think. You have to think like star power, like and what matches would make sense.
I don't know, because Gunther right now has once again he's in that Sheamus lane where he's like booming right now.
Gunther's always been that way though. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, definitely. He remember coming from NXT UK, he's been phenomenal. That's why I said I prefer him as Walter versus Gunther.
I agree.
Big time. Like I wish they changed his name back. Let's just call him back Walter because that's who he's supposed to be. But I think I want him to actually I would like to see him fight somebody else other than Drew. I think Drew is tired. Drew need a break.
And let's
be honest.
No, I get it.
Need a break. He needs a break. I'm tired. Like
match number 5. I'm gonna go on a limb in this one. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Austin Theory versus John Cena. Because that's supposed to be the rumored match, but that might be night 2. But I'm just fantasy booking WrestleMania anyway, so the nights don't really matter. But I'm just gonna say it's Austin Theory versus John Cena because that match is supposed to happen at SummerSlam, and I think from what I heard, John Cena told Vince McMahon to hold it off until WrestleMania. So,
and then Michael Cole teased it on commentary. He said Austin Theory need to add to adjustment.
Yeah, KD's comment is where I'm going with it. I'm going with KD on that.
No, I agree. Because they held it off this year, so I agree. That's this year. That's next year. Yeah, so I definitely agree. But I don't know. The funny thing is, I don't know if the fans will really care for it next year. Like,
there got to be a conclusion.
I get it, but I'm like, do I really want to see Ronda Rousey versus Becky again?
Remember that last fight. It has to be a conclusion.
Like the only way I think I probably care for it is if like Becky stayed out until like February, and then Ronda just went like on a rough shot and just destroyed the whole women's division.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like there's nobody left, and then here comes Becky.
Sasha coming back.
This is what I'm saying, and Naomi coming back.
We'll say maybe come back. I'm gonna say Sasha maybe come back.
Then we're not talking about the rest of the women from NXT that could be up by then, who possibly could build some momentum. So it's hard to say, but I think Ronda versus Becky was a Vince McMahon thing. I don't necessarily think it'd be a Triple H thing. Triple H should probably have like all 4 horsewomen fight each other, or something like that. That sounds like a Triple H thing.
So you could say you feel maybe it would be Ronda.
As a matter of fact, I go on a limb. Instead of Ronda and Becky at WrestleMania, I would go out on a limb and say it would probably be Ronda and Shayna versus Becky and Charlotte for the women's tag team titles.
Nah, they not coming off those two.
Oh, if you don't think in the next couple of months you're not going to see Ronda and Shayna with the tag team belts, you're bugging. Because Ronda's been trying to get Shayna to embrace that heel side she used to have. So if you don't think that is not coming off, you are bugging. They will be tag team champions by Royal Rumble, guaranteed.
I believe if they're together, it could happen. I'm not gonna hold you. But then Ronda got to step up her wrestling skills, bro.
But that's what
as many botches that went through that Liv match.
That was
just like come on, you botched a lot of times.
That's what being with Shayna will help because it'll keep Ronda out the ring some of the time. You won't be squarely focused on Ronda. So the thing about it, if Ronda and Shayna's a tag team, who's really beating them?
Nobody.
If you really want to be those matches will last all of about like 5 minutes with each tag team that they fight, and it will end with somebody getting their arm broken.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like so. Yeah.
Then you could let Sonya Deville be their mouthpiece.
Yeah, exactly. If you want, she could just be. If you want, they could just be a faction. They could carry. They could have the Freebird rule, like whichever one of the 2-3 defend the titles. Like that would be a one hell of a like MMA faction kind of tag team. If you think about it, but I think Sonya's going back with Mandy after what I saw in NXT. So there's a chance. So, but. All right, so we have 30 minutes already. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. Then we'll come back. If you're looking to get a podcast on the Evening Rush Network and you don't know how to, this is how you do it.
Looking to podcast shows and do not know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that. Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
Yo, I'm sorry. I just read a comment. Hold on. I just read this. Wait, before I read that comment, Frank said, "Yo, what up, Frank?" Frank said we need a Rocket versus Roman. Now I agree, but the only problem with that is I feel like it's so predictable because I know the Rock's not winning.
Well,
he's already started teasing it.
Yeah, he's been teasing it. So
because he's actually said that he's the head of the table.
So
so it's coming. KD said Diddy versus Mace in a ladder match at WrestleMania 40, publishing and master ownership above the ladder. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Yo, that's why I started laughing.
I was sitting here thinking, you can't forget Omos. They're gonna actually start pushing Omos somehow.
Omos gonna win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, or he's gonna fight Braun Strowman. One or the other.
Yes, there you go. Because that's where I was going with it. Braun that's definitely gonna be Braun's big match. So maybe at WrestleMania or maybe before, but I can see it coming. Just because Omos is just running through too many nobody.
Who you who you got, Don?
Braun versus Omos?
No, I mean just in general. Like, what's your WrestleMania?
I mean, I agree with most of the ones you already pulled out. My big one right now that I want to see is actually Seth Rollins versus Cody again, but not with better stipulation. Some type of better stipulation.
You think Seth holds that U.S. title to WrestleMania to fight Cody?
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to take it off from just now. You remember that's always been Triple H's boy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where when me and you was talking that night, and I was like, "You see this?" And I was like, "Yo, yeah," because that's always been Triple H's boy. He came off a big loss to Riddle, even though the match was trash, and just beat Bobby. And the only way they could beat. Remember, he's supposed to be hurt,
bro. That was the only way. Because
he's supposed to be hurt from that match.
That was the only way.
Yeah,
that's the only way that made sense. Because a healthy Bobby is not losing to an injured Self.
Yeah,
not at all.
That's the only way. Do you think that they could stretch an AJ to Finn to WrestleMania? Because not for
I'm
nothing,
not sure.
AJ and Gallows and Anderson versus Judgment Day at WrestleMania would be good if this happened in February.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be okay with that. But I just don't see it stretching out that long.
I mean, with him bringing so many new people to the table, you're not gonna. It's hard to see who's gonna be at WrestleMania.
Shit, it might be Bloodline versus Bullet Club at WrestleMania. You never know.
Definitely,
you never know.
But he's bringing up so many new artists and people wanting to come back to the WWE because Triple H is under the helm now.
Yeah, things can change a lot in the next 6 months of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
because God forbid guys can get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like, let's just say God forbid, right? But Roman gets hurt. WWE screwed. Like,
yeah.
I think that's also why they're saving him so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They, remember him taking the belt, he dislocated his arm. So they're like, whoa. Slow down, kid. You're doing too much. That's why I think he's doing the Brock shit now. They're like, no, slow down.
Yeah.
Let's give him Logan Paul, somebody we know he could just fuck up with like 2 points.
Yeah, but you know the sad part about that? A match with Logan Paul, if you're not careful, is how you can end up injured because he's not a trained professional.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But do you not think? I think they're gonna make sure that match is quick. It's not gonna be too crazy.
It's gonna go about 5 to 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
If it goes too crazy, they're gonna stop it quick. Because they're not gonna risk Roman getting hurt.
If Logan Paul get any offense in, it kills Roman Reigns' legitimacy. If I'm honest.
Well, I mean, he got to get some offense in. Roman can make a mistake. Like Roman could take him not take him serious and get caught slipping. So, they got to let him at least get a pin attempt in. Yeah, like maybe a frog splash off the top rope because Roman might have slipped or something. You know what I'm saying? Like anything can happen. Go for like a spear against the ring post and miss. He hits the ground. Like it's possible, but after that, after he hits that one big move and he kicks out, it's over for him after that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect Nia Jax back, bro. Triple H never really liked her.
Well, a lot of the women never really liked her either. She wasn't safe. So
he never really liked her. So
do you think?
I don't expect her back.
Let me ask you a question. With Bray coming back, do you think you could swing back around and do a Bray versus Randy at WrestleMania?
I hope not.
I actually
thought that was a good match.
If you ask my opinion, I think if Randy does come back, it'll be Randy versus Riddle at Mania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking.
And Randy is probably at the point where he probably wouldn't mind Riddle beating him with an RKO too.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, but I don't think that we should want that to happen.
No, I wouldn't mind it.
I would actually like Randy to win. I don't see no big thing with.
But you say you want Randy to win, but let me ask you a question: Who would it benefit more, Randy or Riddle?
Riddle.
Exactly.
Riddle. Exactly. It would benefit Riddle more.
So where does Randy go if he wins, and where does Riddle go if he loses? You got to think about it like that. That's like true. You build with the fact that Randy's been out with a bad back injury,
mm-hmm.
and you want to bring him back and have him beat Riddle, where let's just say God forbid the injury comes back again after that, then what did the win do?
Then he said it's possible he can't do no more RKOs because his back is so bad.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. He gonna go back to that's all right. He gonna go back to using a punt kick.
Mm-hmm.
But think about a lot of his offense requires his back, that draping DDT, the RKO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he's not hurt really like they say he is, and he'll be back sometime soon. He'll catch Riddle out of nowhere with an RKO because right now Riddle just floating around with no real direction.
That's true because he can't challenge for the Universal title because he
can't challenge for the world title because the belts is held up by the same person.
Right.
Yeah. This is my thing too, that they need to find a way to get these, because like you can't even make like dream tag team matches at WrestleMania for belts because it's all held up by one tag team.
This was the biggest mistake I thought they made, was where one person has all the belts. I understood it with the whole NXT situation because you wanted just one NXT brand, but
I liked it for the tag team titles in the WWE division because they didn't have no tag teams.
Now they got a bunch of them.
Now they got a bunch of them, so now they need to split them up. But when they originally unified them, I'm like, good, because the tag team division was trash. But now you got a whole bunch of tag teams where you could. And then I think DIY.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that too. So it's like, how do you split the belts up?
Yeah. You got the only way like I said, the only way we all agree has to be done is night 1 of WrestleMania, night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah, but the only bad thing about that, you have one tag team fighting twice. So let's just say, for example, that only works if the Usos win night 1 and then lose to whatever tag team beats them in night 2.
Or you do a ladder match, both belts up, one person grabs one belt, one person grabs the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, but so many botches could happen in that situation.
Listen. I mean, at this point, you gotta. It's gonna something has to happen where they split the belt.
Do you think the belts still stay with them throughout the year, the rest of the year?
If they can get one belt, yeah, I can see it. I can see Bloodline still going for a while with titles.
Talking about the Bloodline, here's another match that I think is gonna happen at Mania, or that I would at least book. I think Naomi versus Ava Reigns is gonna happen at Mania. The Rock going against Roman. I think.
You think so? Now?
I think Ava's gonna have her main roster debut at WrestleMania to help her father out in the rivalry, and Naomi comes back to help her husband in the Bloodline out. I think that's a perfect way to bring her in, is at Mania.
And then
that's the only way you can get her
that would
over.
be dope, because then Rock takes the L.
Right.
She acknowledges Roman and she's in with them.
But that's a nice way to bring that's also a nice way to bring her into storyline too. That would be a nice way to introduce The Rock back if you did a storyline where, like, say Roman went down to NXT or the Bloodline went down to NXT and they tried to down there. That's not true, because Solo could go down there. Solo and the Usos could go down there.
Solo ain't looking back, bro. Solo ain't looking back at that.
Nah. You say that and then he went back and won the title.
That one night, he's like, I did that for the one night. I just needed that belt one night.
I did it.
You go take the belt back. Yeah.
But you gotta look at it, like, going back. What better way though than to introduce The Rock than by them going to pick on his daughter?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Or it could just be a situation where, like, it could be like a night after
they would have to bring her up.
She might be sitting. She could just be sitting in the crowd, and Roman could just catch her out in the crowd, like, oh, look, blah blah blah, and then make her acknowledge him, and she don't want to do it. And then what better way to bring The Rock? Like,
that would be dope.
Because he could be like, I'm the head of the table, and she could be like, no, you're not. Like,
I can see that happening,
right?
Because nobody's going back, bro. Solo definitely ain't going back. He got a taste of a SmackDown paycheck, bro. He ain't going
bro.
back.
I don't agree with that, because Triple H runs one and Shawn Michaels runs the other. So at this point, somehow between now and next year, they're gonna try to push NXT as a third brand again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, when they did it for Survivor Series that year, that was one of the most amazing pay-per-views.
Yeah, and then Vince McMahon seen that Keith Lee was getting too big in Roman. He pushed them all back down to NXT.
Right.
Man, we did.
That was I think that was one of the best Survivor Series ever.
Right. Let me ask you a question.
That's where I actually started liking Adam Cole, because I was like, God damn, that nigga.
Where do you fit Braun Breaker into WrestleMania next year? Because he'll be up by then.
Yeah. I can see him taking
Braun Breaker versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I can see that. I didn't even think
Bobby
about
Lashley
that.
has been strong enough where it wouldn't hurt him to lose to Braun Breaker.
Not at all.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that at all. But the only thing that sucks with that is that then that probably would mean Lashley probably have to be a heel again. Because I don't see Braun Breaker being a bad guy.
Yeah, not me neither.
Yeah.
Do you and then you know what's crazy? I know everybody wants this Rock and Roman, but I'm gonna stick with this till the wheels fall off. I still feel like it should be Roman and Jay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna feel like this until I get my match. I have to speak it into existence. I feel like it's gonna be Roman and Jay. Like I do. Do I feel like at one point it's gonna go Roman and Sammy at one point? Yes, I do. Do I feel like Roman's gonna win it? I mean, Sammy's gonna win? No, not at all. As much as it's
gonna go Roman Sammy. I feel it's gonna be Jay Sammy definitely.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
I don't see the point. I don't see a point of him fighting Sammy.
Oh, KD, that's not bad. Braun Breaker as a heel versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I might go on a limb and say Sammy might win the Rumble this year. With the momentum that he's got going,
I can see that.
I can see that too.
He would be perfect. He should be the one to take it off for Roman. To me, I know they positioned for the tag team, and I think that's really what's going to go with Sammy and KO versus the Usos. But they got a star in him to take it off for Roman. That, to me, that's the ultimate underdog story, and the excitement and the crowd reaction he's been getting.
Oh, because I feel bad for the crowd once he get beat out their bloodline. Because it's like every week the fans is almost like gasping when they think it might happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he realizes it. I'm pretty sure he does. But storyline wise, if you don't pay attention to it, he seems to be cutting off Roman like every week.
He do.
Roman's talking and he just cuts him off, and it's just like the funniest shit this week. The funniest shit this week when he told Jay, he was like, "Yo, you know, we've been talking about like, me and Roman been talking about like life stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not that important right now, but we've been feeling like, yo, you haven't been as oozy." He's like, what? And what's funny is that you could tell that Jay wanted to laugh. But
he did. No, he still cracked.
But he took like a deep breath and then put his mean face back. But then even then, sometimes you got to pay attention to the little subtle things, because not for nothing, but Solo be giving Sammy the death stares.
Yeah,
he do. Yeah, he do.
Now, KD, you want something funny? And this is a match that he just said, watch it be Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. And watch
that would be dope.
And watch it be one of the hottest matches of the card. Watch.
Mm-hmm.
That would be dope, but I'm once again, I don't see how everybody saw Bad Bunny as a great wrestler.
Now he was decent. He was decent.
I got to rewatch that match. I really have to rewatch.
Now he was decent. Yeah, obviously you had to be good enough if they bring you back for a Royal Rumble appearance.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna hold you. That WrestleMania was so shaky. I was falling asleep in and out.
I think another WrestleMania prediction I got is I think it's gonna be Cody Rhodes versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, because when you look at Bray, you gotta be like, who's he gonna fight?
Nah, listen. Remember, this is the kicker. You have 6 other people down with Bray, so it doesn't necessarily have to be Bray that's fighting.
Yeah, but it's WrestleMania.
Yeah, but you're gonna get one. You could get one of the 6.
Yeah, but who was one of the 6 that would equal the talent of Bray Wyatt though for WrestleMania? Right. Bray Wyatt's entrance alone at WrestleMania is probably going to be phenomenal.
Right.
But I want to see how they're going to figure out, because they're trying to separate the whole Fiend from the Bray Wyatt situation. So I think Bray's going to be his own person, and the Fiend is supposed to be his own person.
I think the Fiend persona is going to be Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Because he was the one. I think he was the one that was in the Fiend suit on Saturday. So I mean, a couple of names that I seen floating around under these was like I was a little mind blown. Like they said, Mercy the Buzzard was Grayson Waller, and I'm like, Huskers was Joe Gacy. I could believe it. Joe Gacy looked like he would fit perfectly with Bray Wyatt's stable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know. What stipulation would you have?
With Bray and Cody?
Yo, KD, WrestleMania 39 was this year. Next year's WrestleMania 40.
No, next year's WrestleMania 39.
Is it?
WrestleMania 39
this year was WrestleMania. This WrestleMania 38 was this year.
Yeah, this is WrestleMania 39.
Yo. So wait, so I'm because I'm thinking about the Philly one. The Philly one is in the 40, right?
No, Philly one is 39. Oh yeah, 40. Yep,
Yeah,
Philly one is
because
40.
39
Yeah.
is Los Vegas.
Oh, so we going to Philly then?
Yeah.
We going to Philly.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be at Philly. That I already let that one be known.
Right.
Yeah. So it was so actually so it was supposed to be fantasy booking 39. I put 40. I'm already thinking ahead.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy. But
well, at least we know Roman's gonna make it to 40 then. That's what I'm talking about.
And not as champion. I hope not. Let me be honest with you. As a Bloodline fan, let's be honest. Let's be as a Roman fan, as a Bloodline fan, do you really want to see Roman hold the belts all the way into 40?
I would like to see Roman hold it to 40. Not both belts, maybe one belt. Yes, I want to see him catch that Hulk Hogan legacy, man. Somebody need to catch that Hulk Hogan legacy. It's been too long, bro. 5 years.
I agree, but
Hogan held it for 5 years, bro.
I agree, but for you to sit here and say they're gonna hold it, he's gonna hold these belts up for another year and a half, 2 years. Nah. I'll start watching.
They bring him back. Yeah,
I'll start watching by then. Like, I come on, because it's like I like Roman. Don't get me wrong. As a heel Roman, it's the best Roman Reigns character ever. But to hold the belt another year and a half, nah, I can't do it. It's because you know why I say that?
So fast,
but you know why I say that? No, you know why I say that? Because then look who he's gonna beat along the way. At some point, there's gonna be Sheamus. At some point, it's gonna be Gunther. At some point, it's gonna be Braun Breaker. At some point, it's gonna be Cody. And then you're gonna sit there like, okay, so who's gonna really beat him? And then when it be somebody like Bo Dallas who beat him, we're gonna be like, this guy.
It's some bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I can say that. I agree with that. But listen,
at this point,
look how many people look for Floyd to lose every day.
I hate to say this. At this point, I'd rather Austin Theory take the belts off of Roman, and I thought I'd never say that.
Oh, that's crazy. Never. I every time I see him with the Money in the Bank, I get pissed off because I'm like, who's gonna take this from him? So
you know why I win my Austin Theory taking the belts off of Roman? Because Austin Theory's character is stupid enough to be like, yo, I'm only defending one belt. I'm not defending both.
Yo, really is.
And that's how you split the belts. Because in his mind, he'll think, okay, even if I lose one, I'll still have another one.
Right.
Like his character is dumb enough to be like that. Seth's character too. Seth's character has been like, I'm not defending. Well, I can't say that because Seth has an ego on him. So Seth probably might be like, I got to defend both belts.
Right.
But I guess at this point, the only way you could take the belts would be off of like a ladder match where one grabs one and the other grabs the other.
Yeah.
I'm going on a bold prediction now. Since we're looking for what wrestlers you think will be back by WrestleMania 39. I'm gonna go out and say I'm gonna go on the limb and say Zack Ryder will be back by 39.
We all know this is gonna happen already.
Yep. But let me ask you a question: Does he come back and actually be like the Matt Cardona that he's been, or he goes back to goofy Zack Ryder?
Nah, he definitely gonna go back as the new Zack Ryder. Definitely, he ain't gonna go back being that dude.
Because right now he has the potential. What he's done on the Indies, he has the potential to be a star in WWE under Triple H's regime.
Yeah.
As a heel too. That's the funny thing. Doesn't even have to be a face.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably come back. You think he's gonna help Cody? He'll probably turn on him.
Okay, big question, because he's been being thrown out there a lot lately. Intercontinental Women's title. Y'all believe it's gonna happen?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna
say by WrestleMania next year they'll have a secondary women's title. If the women will keep coming up the way they're coming up, there's only so much you can do with the other belts you already got now. Unless you start throwing tag teams together. So,
but this is the reason why I'm sitting here telling you, and it's been said multiple times. It's time for a mid card title for the women.
And I'll be honest with you, the first person I'll put the belt on will be Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm. You saying Raquel?
Mm-hmm. Because chances are you're probably gonna have by WrestleMania you're probably gonna have two heel champions.
No, the reason why I'm laughing is because I fucking totally agree with you, bro.
Oh, yep. It would be a perfect fit for her. She could carry it.
I agree with you totally.
She could carry it as a face and somehow turn into a heel. and then let some underdog face beater for the belt. So, KD said Zack Ryder won't be back. He's loving the Indies. I agree with you, but there's a comment he said today that I was just like, yeah, he wants to come back because
I read it. I read it in a blog. He's thinking about coming back.
Something along the lines like he's loving what he's doing right now, but if they give him a call, he's always ready. So yeah, he wants to come back. And as far as the no mid-card title for the women, I don't have a problem with it because WWE kind of managed. Like if it was AEW, I'd be like no, but WWE kind of manages their women a little.
But don't the
they do have a mid-card title, yeah, and they barely do anything with it. So that's what I'm saying. Like WWE, I trust a little bit more with a mid-card title than I do AEW. So I wouldn't mind them having another belt. I just hope. See, okay, under Vince McMahon, I'd be like no. Under Triple H, I'd be like okay, I get it. Because it's a purpose behind it. I think Vince McMahon had one person hold it, and then all of a sudden it just gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
So who would you going into WrestleMania? Who would you have holding the championships? Take away Roman and his world titles, because obviously we know he's not losing them.
Yeah. Actually, I the only person I can see changing or losing the title would be Gunther. And if he does, it's to Sheamus.
And the funny thing is, if he loses it to Sheamus, I can see Sheamus losing it to somebody in the bloodline.
It would only be Solo.
Exactly. Because at this point, I feel like they could get the belt off of Gunther and put it on Sheamus. They'll find a way to put that belt on Solo.
Yeah, that would be the only way. You know.
But then my fear with that, see, if this once again, this is Vince McMahon, my fear with that is that Vince would be like, okay, so now that we put that, now we got to find a way to put the U.S. title on them too, and the bloodline are going to WrestleMania with every championship.
Everybody, yeah.
So,
yeah, that's the only person I can see is Sheamus with the IC. Like I said, Seth, like right now, he's Triple H's boy, so I can't see the U.S. title changing no hands no time soon. And plus, Triple H never been the one who wanted to give up titles so fast. He wants them to get a good run with the title. So
Solo Sikoa, U.S. champ. See, I don't know because the Bloodline is a SmackDown group, but at the same time, they go on both brands because they got both championships.
I can't see Sasha coming back. I'll be honest. I can't see her coming back. She's talking. She really been talking like AEW is where she want to go.
Nah, I can't see her going to AEW. Honestly, I can't see her going there. I could say probably before Triple H, yeah, but nah. I feel like that a lot of wrestlers. I think a lot of wrestlers, Bray Universal champ without beating Roman. Yeah, but how?
Yeah,
how do we get to that? Yeah, but how do we get to that? This is the thing. Like,
the only way, the only other way, like I said, like you said, Roman would have to be hurt, and not even really hurt. Just listen, we're gonna have to hurt you, Roman, just to get these belts off you.
Like the only way, because like Roman could be cocky going into Royal Rumble and be like, "Yo, I'm this. I could defend the championships, and I know I'll still win." And it could be a stipulation where like he loses one of the belts, but I don't find any sensical way of him dropping one of the belts without losing the other one. Not at this point.
Yeah, I could say I could agree with him with that. Sasha would represent Hollywood than WWE.
Yeah, I think at some point Sasha.
I think she's truly done. She's done. Like
I think when Sasha left WWE or got fired by WWE, whatever the case, I thought she felt like she was just done with wrestling.
Well, she didn't get fired. She's I think she's still trying to renegotiate the contract situation.
Okay, so KD,
I know.
Now my question, KD, how? Because like once again, how do you drop one belt without dropping the other? Like how does a wrestler come out and tell you, "Yo, I'm going to challenge you for one belt, but I don't really want the other belt"? And how's Roman going to be like, "Yo, I'll give up one belt, I'll defend one, but I'm not defending the other"?
Yeah.
Like this is it's
the only way it can happen is if he gets hurt. You do a ladder match, or 2 different nights.
Because even I think doing an injury angle right now, I still think they'll find a way to. Because if he's doing an injury angle, he can still come out and just not, unless it's like a torn Achilles or something like that. He still could come out every week and just talk. He don't have to wrestle. He don't do it now. So it's like, if it's an injury that's like he's out from now until Survivor Series. Well, that Survivor Series is a month from now. So let's just say something happens, he gets hurt at Survivor Series, and he can't wrestle to Royal Rumble. Okay, he can just come out every week injured. He don't got to defend the belt. He don't do it now. Yeah. So it's like, this is what I'm saying. It's like he'll just drop it during a promo. That makes no sense. So you're the head of the table. You're gonna be like, you're too good for the belt. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is where WWE, this is where Vince McMahon backed him in such a corner. It's like, how do you get out of it?
Yeah. I mean, there's options, but Triple H gonna want to go those options.
Because even War Games could be a situation where they could be like, oh, the Bloodline's defending all the titles in War Games. It'll give you an idea and make you think that they might lose. But as long, like I keep saying, if Roman's in the match, they're not losing. Unless they do something where they have the Bloodline in the War Games, and it's like Sammy took like Roman's spot or whatever, right? And they're like, if the Bloodline lose, they lose all their belts. Somebody in the Bloodline could get pinned like Sammy or whatever, and they lose all their belts, so Roman's no longer champion. That might be the only way you could probably get away with it, where it kind of makes sense.
But then who would be the champions? The opposite team?
Yeah, they have whoever gets the pinfall. Like whoever gets the pinfall.
Would they get both belts?
A triple threat where Reigns does not get pinned. I get that, but then he'd be losing both belts still. And like I said, unless they and it's something you mentioned a while ago, unless they do something where they circle back like all those years ago when it was Jericho, Angle, and Benoit, and it was like for one fall was for like the European belt, one fall was for the Intercontinental belt, and Kurt Angle ended up losing both belts, but he never got pinned. That's the only way that could work. But even then, like, I don't know. It's because it's almost like once Roman loses that first belt, it's like, great, you got the belts off him, but you know he's not losing the second fall. So,
well, I mean, if that's what got to be done in order to get those belts separated so that we can get more content.
Yeah, but then the problem with that is, who do you put in the match? It had to be Roman. I think the only believable people would have to be Roman, Seth, and McIntyre.
Why McIntyre?
I don't even know, man.
I'm done with him too, bro.
I'm okay if it's like Roman, Seth, and like Kevin Owens.
I'm good with that. I could see Kevin Owens back with the Universal title.
Yeah, but then the problem with that is that Roman's not going to lose, which means Seth is either going to get pinned one match and Kevin's going to get pinned one match, and then Roman's going to pin whoever's left after that.
Right.
Because like, what if they do some bogusness like where it's like Roman loses like Seth gets pinned, so Roman loses the Universal title, right? But then Roman pins Seth in the second fall and keeps the world title, but you just pinned the guy who beat you for the world title, who took the title, but you're not the champ anymore. So now you're not going to come out the next night and be like, I want my other belt back. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you got to, there's a lot of wrestling doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to sometimes, but
I mean, at every angle, like I said, when it comes to wrestling, I realize that every angle, there's going to be something we're not happy with.
Yeah, exactly.
It won't, and most of the time when it's something we're not happy with, it don't last too long. So it'll be one of them situations. It don't last too long, but it got to be done.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
and that still goes to the same situation with the Usos, because they're going to have to lose one of those titles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's easier.
I'll be honest, I want to keep them with the SmackDown belt. I think they're better with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think them being on SmackDown was one of the best things they did. When they put the Usos on SmackDown, I don't see the point of them being on Raw.
And Raw's developing a lot of tag teams, so you can kind of be okay with getting the belts back on Raw, like with a decent tag team. So, knowing WWE, though, they'll find a way to just put them on Street Profits.
Yeah.
But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We already hit the hour. When you talk about wrestling, that time flies by. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Everybody, have a good night, y'all.
Definitely. Oh, don't forget, Libra drops tomorrow morning. Make sure
you go get that.
Word. We holla at y'all.
Peace out.